Well, this last video I want to talk about, I think I want to talk about what I feel is kind of one of the secret sauces of life. I don't think there's any one secret sauce other than God himself. But there's one secret sauce that I think is very effective in life, and it's the word relationships. And let me tell you how that worked for me. This amazing thing happened to me while I was at the Tony Awards. So what had happened was this. I actually have not one, but two people who I have physically crossed paths with in my life who actually got Tony Awards. So one got a nomination, the other got an actual award. And can you believe I actually knew these people? So one of the people is a man named Kenny Leon. Some of y'all might know Kenny Leon. Kenny Leon is a director who used to be based in Atlanta, but he ended up moving back to New York. And so last night, Kenny got nominated for a Director of the Year kind of award. Now, he didn't win in his category, but he got a nomination, a Tony nomination, for being an awesome director, which he is. And I remember sitting down one day with Kenny, and Kenny gave me a lot of wisdom about writing plays. That was during the time I wrote a play for the pediatric sickle cell clinic. And the doctors wanted to give me a whole lot of advice and things that they wanted to change in my show that God had given me. And y'all know, Pat Martin is so sweet and kind and nice until you start trying to change her stuff. And then she turns into a little kind and nice monster, because I hate co-directing. Oh my God, just let me do it the way God sent it to me. Okay, that's a whole nother story, guys. Anyway, so like I said, Kenny got that nomination, but the other gentleman, whose name is Freddie Hendrix, Freddie got an actual Tony Award. And when I saw that, I saw it on the internet, on Facebook, that where he was going to get an award. And when I saw that, I inboxed him and I said, Freddie, I know you don't remember me, but I just wanted to tell you that I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. And I tried to make him remember who I was. I said, I know you don't remember, but I talked to you a long time ago, because between both Frederick and Kenny, I reached out to both of these men who had been in the entertainment industry for years, and I knew that they had some wisdom that I needed for my life in this entertainment field and just in the area of doing theaters and theater plays. So anyway, I wrote him and inboxed him, but I never heard back. Now, the other thing I want to say is, you can imagine how many people attended that show. I'm going to have to research how many people can even sit in that theater. We were in Radio City Music Hall. I'm sure you probably heard of that. But while we were there with all these 1,000 people, when the show got out, I went to the elevator. My husband and I were getting ready to get out of the building. I step onto an elevator, random elevator, and I had a God moment. I know it was the power of God, and it was orchestrated by God. When I got on the elevator, my husband tapped me and said, hey, that's your friend. I looked up and I was on the elevator with Freddie Hendrix. I said, oh my God. I looked at him and I didn't say anything first. He spoke. He said, I know you. And I said, I know you. I know you. You know me too. And I know you. And so he even went as far to say, yes. I said, well, I first said, I know you remember that we spoke. I said, you may not remember because it's been such a long time. And but he remembered. He said, oh yeah, it's been a long time. He said it was back in the 90s. I'm like, yes, oh my God, you remember. And it was just so cool to have that moment where I'm talking to somebody who actually got a Tony Award. I got chills even thinking about that moment now. And so he said, you know, we're on the elevator and people getting off and on real quickly. And so we don't have time to have a long conversation. And so as I'm getting ready to step off the elevator, the lady that was with him, she says, maybe we'll see you over at the gala after the show. And then Freddie says to me, he said, yes, I'll see you at the gala so we can talk. And I'm like, oh, I said, I can't go to the gala. I got to get back to Atlanta. Well, let me tell you, I didn't know where the gala was. So my children told me, you should have said, where is the gala? And they might have said, well, just come go with us. And I would have gone. Well, at least we made that connection. And so listen, guys, even when I teach my grant writing class, I tell them sometimes the secret sauce is relationships. It's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. And so, guys, let me tell you, this was not my last time. It may have been my first time coming to a Tony Award, but it's not going to be the last time, because now I know what to do to get myself positioned for that Excellence in Theater Award. He got that award because of what he did with children in Atlanta, Georgia. And I know that God has me on that same path, that I'm doing things for children in Atlanta, Georgia, and many of those children, like his kids, have made it to, well, let's say, you know how they say, Mama, I made it? I have several kids who can write home, Mama, I made it. Not just my own child who has traveled the world and been the music director for Janelle Monáe and worked with Fantasia and Oprah Winfrey and doing a residency in Vega. And then I have another young lady who is doing a lot of major production stuff behind the scenes. Y'all know Denise Carson, who grew up with me. And then I have another child who started with me when she was she must have been about 3 years old. And because I love working with children, I did a home daycare, and she started with me. She started dancing with me, and then she ended up going on tour as a lead dancer for The Lion King. Let me tell y'all something, God, I know that I'm in position to do this. So I am striving now to get back to New York in the next year or a couple of years to come, not too far, to get that Excellence in Theater Award. It's a Tony Award. It's a real Tony Award. And so I know I can do that. Again, I believe that secret sauce is about relationships, about who knows you. And now, I have 2 people now who have gotten that Tonys and the Tony nominations, who know me and can vet me in this area of the Tony Award life. So remember, it's about relationships, guys. So I think I'm going to just make one last quick video, but this one is about relationships and getting that Tony Award. All right, or doing whatever it is God called you to do. All right, guys, relationships, that's the secret. All right.